Is a degree sufficient? With a country that is so full of talented, intelligent, and diligent citizens, why are there so many Filipinos who still fail to secure decent employment? Notwithstanding the fact that the Philippines produces some 600,000 college graduates annually, it still has high underemployment as well as job mismatch rates. Most of them are still unemployed or compelled to take posts that are not underlined because of the absence of vacancies or stringent qualifications for freshers. Poverty exacerbates the situation as most families cannot provide quality education. Amarilia's 2023 approximates that 71.3% of the new employment opportunities in 2023 were in informal work or self-employment, which rarely stable or pays equitably. This study examines how the worsening employment crisis in the Philippines is ignited by poor access to education, the lack of secure productive local jobs, and increasing need for Filipinos to seek overseas work just to survive. The low quality and limited access to education present a major obstacle faced by many Filipinos, especially to the poor, which negatively affects their opportunities of finding decent and stable jobs. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, approximately 16.7 million Filipinos live below the poverty line, facing challenges to make ends meet daily. Poverty and education are in a recurrent relationship. Poverty limits access to education, while lack of education perpetuates poverty. Families living in poverty often prioritize survival needs than providing education for their children. Subsequently, education becomes a luxury for many families, especially to those rural areas or most indigent communities. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, the number of unemployed Filipinos increased in July. Millions of qualified graduates from college or senior high school entered the workforce and failed to land jobs during the period. Undeniably, indigent families often face hardships to provide tuition fees, school supplies, and transportation. Moreover, additional issue facing education system is the shortage of resources and infrastructure in many schools, particularly in rural areas. This includes lack of textbooks, digital technology, school facilities, and teacher training. These external factors can influence and hinder the process of learning. Without proper education, they may not acquire the essential skills required for a job. Additionally, having a degree is a huge opportunity for a decent job and higher paying positions. Therefore, the impact of poverty and the lack of access to education perpetuates to hinder many Filipinos from securing stable and decent employment opportunities.
Most employees are compelled to secure additional or part-time work since their primary earnings are insufficient. Philippine Statistics Authority 2024. This kind of work is often irregular and paid extremely low, sometimes even just 300 pesos to 432 pesos a day. Amaryllis 2023. Moreover, contractualization or ENDO scheme subjects workers to a cycle-frequent temporary job contracts with protection, welfare, or career advancement. Porungan 2022. Businesses avoid employing regular employees in a bid to save on costs, exposing workers to vulnerabilities. This becomes increasingly difficult for Filipinos to save their future or to give a decent life to their families. Despite laws and directives issued to stop this, it goes occurring due to poor enforcement and absence of sanctions. The workers are thus insecure, low-wage jobs or become unemployed. This indicates that economic progress, the majority of Filipinos continue to fail to secure jobs that are stable and secure, ensuring unemployment as a persistent and increasing issue. Filipinos still pour out of the country in search of greener opportunities abroad due to the continued misalignment of education provided and unavailable domestic jobs. Even with the degrees earned, specialized skills acquired, graduates are left with jobs market cannot absorb them or provide career progression opportunities. Thus, they resort to overseas employment where their education is usually wasted. This results the nations losing quality human capital specialists, employees who would have otherwise contributed to national progress given proper opportunity. Highly trained individuals end up being forced into service or low-skilled employment abroad due to economic exigency instead of career progression. While their remittances keep families afloat and support economy in the short term, the long-term consequence is a drained domestic labor supply. The employment crisis in the Philippines persists because of inadequate access to good education, lack of safe jobs opportunities, and necessity for most Filipinos to become overseas workers. Therefore, labor migration, informal work, and poverty continue to escalate. The country should cut discriminatory labor practices and commit jobs creation and education to address unemployment effectively by emphasizing work expectations that demand more experience than necessary and increasing the access to skills training, especially among the poor. Underemployment and brain drain can be addressed so Filipinos can look forward to a better tomorrow in their own country.